Information platforms covering the latest fintech development in Hong Kong, Singapore, China, and Asia. Join us every week for an engaging conversation with various Asian tech figures to discuss about entrepreneurships, emerging technologies, customer engagement, and partnerships. And today we have Adrien from Sleek. Hi, Adrien. How are you?
Hi, Mehdi. Thanks for having me. I'm doing great. How are you?
I'm very good. I'm really happy to see you here because I know you from the French tech, what you have done in Singapore and Hong Kong also, and helping a lot of entrepreneurs to create their company here.
Mhm.
So it's great to have you. But before we start this interview, can you introduce yourself a bit?
Sure. So I'm Adrian. As you can hear, my accent will actually not, will not lie. So I'm actually French. I've been around Asia for 12 years, mainly working in e-commerce for 7 years, and 5 years ago I decided to embark on a mission to help entrepreneurs to you know get back peace of mind when building their business by taking away all of the admin and accounting matters of their plate. So Sleek is a platform on which you can register a business and outsource all the unsexy and and pretty time consuming things that come along with entrepreneurship. So yeah, I like to say that we enable great businesses because we give back peace of mind to entrepreneurs and we allow them to grow faster. So yeah, that's what we did. Well, that's what we launched, sorry, like 5 years ago. And to date, nearly 500,000 companies actually trust us League for their back office operations worldwide. And now we're in Singapore, Hong Kong, Australia, and the UK.
Oh, very interesting. Um, how did you come out with the idea of creating your companies? Did you had any turning point there or anything happened?
I think it's the question has two answers. First one, like when did you think about like launching your own business? I think the story can be quite funny. I think it's back at business school when I was organizing like the parties for like the entire business school. So it was really like managing a team of 30 people and a yearly like revenue of around like 500,000 euros. So it was actually really like quite big. And it goes beyond just like serving drinks to people. There is a financial operation behind. So that was really like when I got quite interesting to actually launch something on my own. And then second, when did I mean how did I come up with Sleek? So first it's an idea that I co-founded and I share with someone else, so Julien, based in Singapore. And that's actually not rocket science on how we came up with that. We were just like frustrated clients with our own corporate secretaries and accountant, and we decided to actually build our alternative. So something that was really aligned with what we wanted as entrepreneurs as a service.
Can you describe a bit more what is Sleek and what you are doing every day with the companies joining your platforms and services?
Sure. So, like every day, we register businesses for entrepreneurs in Hong Kong, Singapore, Australia, and the UK. For entrepreneur based in these countries or based overseas. So, for instance, today, Hong Kong is actually a bit blocked. I mean, not everyone can actually come here. So we allow anyone globally based to become, a Hong Kong. I mean, an owner of a Hong Kong company by helping them to register in a fully digital manner and then to just take care of all the ongoing management like admin and governance matters. So in a nutshell, yeah, we allow entrepreneurs to launch businesses in 4 countries.
Okay. Beyond just a company registry in Hong Kong, you are also delivering other services such as accounting and few other services for companies. Can you describe them, please?
Yes. So our scope of work, I mean, the vision at Slick is, to enable entrepreneurship, and then the mission is to help you to go from an idea to an operating company within hours. So I'll take Singapore as the example because that's where the vision in terms of product is, the most accomplished. So today, actually, on Slick, within one day, you can open a company, get a multi-currency business account, like a corporate card, so that in just like a few hours in a day you can go from an idea to an operating company. And to me, that's really like the game changing part of Slick. It's to allow entrepreneurship to everyone based globally and also to give it, quite quickly, efficiently, and also at the right price. So we do that for the inception of a project. And then second, after we take care of all the ongoing management of your company. So such as, bookkeeping, payroll, tax, and when the year end comes, actually in Hong Kong, we can also facilitate the financial audit. So we're really here for the full life cycle of companies, from the birth of your project to the inception with the legal entity, to the end and everything in between, basically.
And can you share with us a bit of information about the company? So when you start with the company registry, right? You start in Singapore. Did you start just alone with your co-founder? Did you already create a team there? And how came the idea of the second product at that moment?
I think we had the vision of the fully fledged platform since the beginning, but obviously, there is only 24 hours in a day and only one thing you can actually do. So we started with the company registration, an area that was really I mean, very underserved by existing providers, with a complete absence of technology and a pricing that was more along the lines of robbery than actually a benevolently good pricing. So that's how we actually started. And then after our clients started to ask us, hey, do you do accounting? Hey, I'm struggling at actually opening a bank account with the traditional banks. How can you guys actually help me? So um, I think we had the vision, but every step, when we started to launch, to think and to launch new products and new services, it was always, like a creation exercise with our clients. Actually, they are a huge source of inspiration for us when they complain, when they give us positive feedbacks. We always ask questions, we always speak to them, and yeah, still today, 5 years after, I'm still on a weekly basis speaking to clients to actually get feedbacks from them, and it helps us tremendously to actually adjust our product roadmap.
Okay, interesting. You also extended to Hong Kong, you say, and other countries. Can you explain a bit how you proceed for this extension on new territories?
So yeah, we started with Singapore only, which was a big market, a market big enough actually for us at the very beginning. And after clients, that were based in Hong Kong but that were serving in Singapore, started to tell us, "Hey, why don't you come to Hong Kong? Here, the market is really it's horrendous. I want a Sleek here in Hong Kong." So that was the inception of the project. And then after, I basically came 2 or 3 times here in Hong Kong to do some mystery shopping, to meet entrepreneurs, to meet SME owners, to understand a bit more about the scene. And once we saw that, yes, they were the same pain points, and the same very bad service, and third, the same complete client dissatisfaction. Then we started to look at the regulatory framework to see if there was a fit for our technology and our platform. And because there was a fit, then we decided to actually roll out the platform here.
And what is the business model of your company? Is it mostly you pay as a service? Is it renewal fees for like recurrent services? Is it something different?
It's a SaaS pricing, so it's a yearly subscription that you can pay monthly or yearly. And yeah, the more the bigger you become, obviously, the more needs you have, and then you need to also increase the volume of services that you benefit from Sleek. So obviously, the pricing changes only based on your activity, actually. So small businesses will not pay the same price as big ones,
Mhm.
because we have a pricing for each bracket of client.
Interesting. And I saw also that you are working with some other companies such as Xero or a few other platforms. Could you explain us how you work with their ecosystems and how you develop your own ecosystem with Sleek?
Yeah, so we use Xero for all our accounting and bookkeeping operations. We think that they are a tremendous product. I mean, they have 1.6 million companies using their platform every day. So there was no point literally in actually reinventing the wheel when actually you could team up with the wheel that had just won the Tour de France. So it was a natural move to actually work with Xero. So we're very good partners with them. They helped us to actually shape a bit our accounting services, because we learned so much with all the content that they give us, and also all the clients that we acquired thanks to the fact that we are now one of the very few Xero Platinum partners. Actually, we were the fourth in Asia to get that mention. um, and now I can say that yes, we're also quite active on the Xero marketplace, to just offer a fully digital experience to Xero users.
I remember from the news last year, you raised something like around 25 millions of USD for fundraising on Series A, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, that's correct.
And could you share a bit about this process and what's next after that Series A for you?
Yeah, so when you start and then you decide to like raise money, raising money is not like the end in itself. It's more an enabler to like achieve your vision and to build it. So we were honored with the trust of like three big funds that actually decided to invest in us last year. So we're very very thrilled to actually have these guys at the board, and also to have the tank full of gasoline to go through the tech winter that we're in these days. But essentially, it's more to actually go faster on the hiring, on the product development, and a bit on marketing. But yeah, it's essentially to grow faster and bigger. Now the next steps would be to open new markets and roll out all the suite of products that we have today in Singapore, and we aim at rolling them out here in Hong Kong, in Australia, and also in the UK.
You mentioned about the product you developed based on the feedback of your customers. How do you proceed to develop this product? Do you do some iteration? Do you start with maybe a proof of concept at the beginning and you develop new features and enhance this new product every time? Could you share a bit about the journey and UI UX there?
Yeah, so I mean, if there is one sentence that I remember from the very, very beginning. So, first year at Sleek, I was listening to the Y Combinator podcast almost every day. It was like such a source of, like energy and motivation. And I think one of the key sentence was if you're not ashamed of your product, it means that, you've waited too long. And I can say that I'm very regularly actually ashamed of the product that we're actually pushing. We're very pragmatic. There is no point in actually mobilizing a team of 30 people to work on like the perfection of a product if there is no market traction. If you waste like a year and a half doing so to have like the best accounting software, then most likely you would have missed the train, and the train will be like far 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 away in the plane. So it's much better to actually like sit down, do a proof of concept, even if like the UX is not great, and if the UI is like not according to the books or not in line with the rest. But at least if you get like positive feedback from clients or users, it's just a stamp of approval, and a massive one, that this product is going to be successful, especially if the UX and the UI is actually great. So yeah, that's how we work. We're very pragmatic, and we start small and then we scale if there is a good response from the clients, from the users.
I also remember that your company did a really interesting infographic for the 5 years, if I'm not mistaken. And it was super interesting to see how many like kilometers or tons of paper you save from Singapore, registry companies there, and kind of like information about your customers. Do you have like any facts you can share with us? Any fun facts? Any like interesting illustration of what you are doing exactly on a daily basis?
So for the past 5 years in total, like if I look only at Singapore, the Sleek companies have generated so close to $1.8 billion of investment into the Singaporean economy. So that's to give you the size of what we're doing. Um, it says that like SMEs in itself are really small, but when you combine all of them, the impact is actually tremendous. So that's the one that actually to me shows that the SME market has a definite potential if you really look at the scale. Now, if you look at funny ones, funny like figures. It's true that I think we saved close to like 70 tons of paper in Singapore and Hong Kong, just because we're sending all of the documents in a fully like digital manner to our clients, so that they can actually sign the documents. Um, and I remember that like every year we have like 6 tons of mail that we receive at our address in Singapore, and that we digitize for our clients. So 6 tons of paper that we digitize, and then after we recycle. So that actually got us started to now like try to become the most sustainable company in the corporate services space, because at the end of the day we're in the paperwork industry. But to me, paper is becoming completely redundant, and we need to digitize it. That's what we're after. So not only we're building technology, but on top of that, we are sustainable. We have an ambitious plan to actually become carbon neutral by 2030. And right now we're also like doing a lot of workshops internally every month to really like train people about minimizing their impact in their lives at on their own, and also at Sleek when they come to the office.
You spoke about the people and the training you're doing. Maybe you can share a bit more information about your employees. How many employees do you have today, and what is the culture inside Sleek right now?
So right now I think we hit the 350 people mark.
Wow.
So yeah, the team has grown like quite tremendously, and I'm really happy because after 5 years now we managed to really like, gather people around the key Sleek values. So it's gonna sound very cheesy, but the Sleek values are five, and we took like the five letters of Sleek. So
Okay.
S for simplicity, L for loyalty, E for excellence, E for entrepreneurship, and K for kindness. So now the explanation: simplicity, because what's the point of doing complex things? Loyalty, we're loyal to each other, we're loyal to our clients, we will never let them down, and also never let a sleeker down. um, Excellence, because we deal with your accounting and with your governance. So if we screw up, then there can be consequences. So we thrive and we try to be excellent every day. Entrepreneurship, because we're all entrepreneurs, we're all trying to actually overcome issues that our clients are facing, and we try to build technology to actually go around that. And K for kindness, because we're kind to each other, we're kind to our clients. There is no point in working with arrogant, non-kind people. So yeah, we're just a good bunch of people.
And how do you share this culture with them? Because you share the five values that you got, but how you help them to really have this value into the core of their.
I think it starts, with the first interview that candidates actually have with us. So all our HR are very well trained with the Sleek values, and like we literally like talk about them every week. So it starts literally with the first interaction that you have. So it's not even the first interview; it's actually on the website. If you go to our career section, if you look at any job opening, there is an explanation about the values and why they are so important to us. So that's actually the very start. And then when you speak to people, you see definitely those who are in line with that because they mention it. And before, to be perfectly honest, I was not a huge believer of that, but we rolled it out like everywhere, and now it makes like so much sense to have that everywhere. The quality of a candidate has gone up. The engagement and the commitment of people once they're on board has like tripled. So it's really impressive to see what formalizing these values are, and their impact then on the day-to-day business and on the management.
Interesting. Do you spend still sometimes to hire people yourself or interview those people joining your company?
Yeah, all the time. Yeah, I'm part of mostly like all of the interview like in the hiring process here in Hong Kong, a bunch in Singapore. Yeah, like all the time.
And
I'm usually the last one, like the gatekeeper, like the old dude with the big beard. Although I don't have any, just to make sure that you are in line with the Slick principles, and we are also like a good environment for you to develop yourself and to spend a few years.
also saw that over the last 2 years, you hire like some really high profile into your company. You have a head of FinTech, you have different head of operations who joined the company. Can you just share a bit more about their missions, how you recruit them, why you recruit them?
Yeah, so for instance, Pauline, our head of fintech in Singapore, so she comes with more than 10 years of, 15 years, I think, of banking experience, building the fintech and the neobank departments within like big traditional banks in Singapore, and also like all their connections with the startups. So she is a huge added value and like addition to the team. She is driving on her own almost like the entire like fintech project that we have in Singapore, and exclusively. I know this will be like so published later. But so tomorrow we're going to announce that we secured the major payment institution license in Singapore.
Congratulations.
Thanks. So it took us a year and a half to actually get there. But now we're actually like on par with all the big banks and all the fintechs, in the likes of Revolut, Wise, to actually provide fully fledged and unlimited business accounts, and also like corporate cards to our clients. So that's mainly thanks to Pauline, who has like led the project from A to Z, that we were able to actually secure that license. So yeah, bringing people that are more experienced, and that have like all these particular skills, just like allows you to not make one or two steps forward, but like 5 or 10. Actually, it's great really to like bring some people that are smarter than you. So it's quite easy in my case, but it's quite nice.
And you just spoke about like a fintech project, right? So how do you collaborate with large institutions or with the regulators in Singapore or in Hong Kong?
So I'll speak about Singapore because in Hong Kong right now we haven't done anything. But the monetary authority of Singapore is super proactive with regard to fintech and innovation, and there are like various frameworks for startups and fintech companies to actually start operating even at a small level. So that's what we did actually. We went through like two different steps to actually start our fintech project without having to secure the MPI license. So working with them was actually quite straightforward and very nice, very efficient. It was just a bit long, but yeah, they're very like supportive of innovation on their end. So it's a pleasure to work with them. Then on our end, we work directly with big financial institutions. Obviously, we're not a bank, so we are not like the custodian, like keeping your cash. So we work with traditional banks who are also like welcoming a discussion with us, because somehow we're also helping them to step up their game and be a bit more agile.
Um, I also see that you just mentioned recently that you are creating that kind of a business account. What is changing for you right now, and what is next for you with this business accounts happening to you?
So right now, if you register a business, you need to go to your corpsec and deal with it, him, sorry, or her, and then after you need to go to a bank and wait for a while to actually open your account. And if you're not based in the country where you want to register a business, most likely you are going to have to travel. Um, and so right now you need to speak to two people. We just like merge these two people into one. So yeah, just like an all-in-one platform on which we never ask you like twice the same question. All your data is actually kept very safely with us, and we use that data to offer you like the full spectrum of services that you need as a small business.
And what makes the difference between Sleek and these competitors? Because I saw like other companies doing similar services than you. So are you the first one on the market? Are you the most digital? Are you the closest to zero? Do you have like anything you can share with us?
Yeah, so we're the only one actually offering you the registration and the business account. There is no other company in the whole of Asia and also Europe actually offering you like these two products. There is one in the US, but yeah, we're a bit on a desertic plain, which is nice. But we need also to like work and also like promote our products. So that's what we're doing every day.
In terms of partnership with large institutions, how big institutions can learn from you?
That's a good question. I think it's us learning from them, because entering the fintech space, it's more like a compliance stint. So they have the experience, which is why we hire people that have massive experience there. So I think it's a two-way street. We learn from them on compliance. They learn from us on actually like the speed of execution and the agility. So that's how I would envision the relationship between Sleek and big financial institutions.
So we spoke about the genesis of your company. We spoke about the presence. We spoke about the really near futures. And what's next for you in the next 6 months or next 2 years? Do you have any roadmap in mind?
So the roadmap right now is to really like roll out all of the Sleek services to like all the countries where we are, and then after we're looking at other countries that are like developed economies. That's the positioning that we have at Sleek. It's to look only at that market for now, because the adoption from clients is actually quite fast. Um, and it's a market where you don't. I mean, also the regulators allow you to actually bring your platform and your solution. There would be literally no point to go to a great and big country, such as for instance Indonesia, that does not allow you to actually use digital signature to register a business, nor has any API to actually connect your platform. So right now we only look at actually developed countries, just for strategic reasons.
Is it hard right now to hire tech talents for your company? Do you face any competition from other companies as well?
Yeah, in Singapore, it's actually really tough, because you have all these big guys that have like really deep pockets. We have big pockets, but like not as big as these guys. So yeah, it's quite difficult. But in India, you can also like struggle a bit these days. Now with all the remote work happening, so the market has really gone up in India. But I think it's also by your ability to sell your project and also to motivate and excite people that you bring up your faculty to actually hire new talents and great ones. So yeah, I think we're working on that angle as well, to describe the full like product vision that we're building at Sleek. And now with the us securing that license, also like the fundraising, opening new countries. All these news actually participate to increase your employer's branding, and yeah, whether or not you like it, actually, it does help you to actually onboard new and great talents.
Oh, this is interesting. I got like a lot of discussion with different entrepreneurs, but they didn't mention this point here. So thank you for sharing this with me.
No, my pleasure.
We are close to this to the end of this interview, so I would like to ask you a few questions about mostly about you and how you can maybe like give some advice to our different listeners. Do you have any blogs or podcasts you recommend to anyone listening or watching this video?
Yeah, so as I was saying earlier, it's really like the one thing that made me wake up every morning and go to work like super pumped was the podcast "How to Start a Startup" from Y Combinator. Honestly, it's a series of like 10 to 15 podcasts, really well produced and edited, with plenty of examples. So obviously, they only talk about like huge like gigacorn like companies, but it tells you really like the inception of the project and the very very first like few months and eventually years. So I would say that. And then after, I'm connected on Twitter to like many entrepreneurs and VCs accounts. So that's where I also like read quite a lot of articles.
Do you have any blogs or your company is producing any articles that you share regularly on the web?
No, I mean we do have a blog and a resource section, but it's mainly around accounting and how to manage better your company.
But this is interesting as
This
well.
is actually really interesting. Yeah. So for Singapore, for Hong Kong, for Australia, and also the UK. Sorry, now we do have that. So yeah, like plenty of tips and tricks on how to improve your efficiency, how to move up, your profit, and how to get get less dependent from cash. So that's the kind of insight that you can actually find on Sleek. But it's for one step after. I mean, you need to have a company to actually go there. And we also like tell you why you should go for Singapore and not Hong Kong in specific cases, and why Hong Kong is actually better than Singapore in other cases. So if you're looking for information on where and how to start a company, that's definitely like the place to be. Sleek.com.
I also remember that you did some video with your head of accounting or a lady there explaining how to fill the tax.
Exactly. Yeah, we tried our luck at creating an influencer in the accounting space. It worked a bit, not as much as we expected it. But yeah, like for those that are lazy and don't want to read, we do have videos that actually tell you on how to manage your cash flow in a nice way.
But like if you keep going, maybe it will become the most popular videos on accounting in the
That's
world.
actually true. Yeah.
um, where the people can learn more about you? Do you have like any articles you can recommend or podcasts you participate before, or maybe your LinkedIn?
I like to speak to people, so it would be very arrogant to say, "Okay, read my bio there." No, like you can shoot me a message on LinkedIn. I'm literally there, like every day, almost every hour. And yeah, if you're in Hong Kong, that's great. We could actually meet for coffee because the measures allow it. If you're based overseas, it would be a call for now.
Okay, perfect. Thank you very much for joining this show.
Thank you, Mehdi.
Can you share a bit your LinkedIn before we just stop this interview to everyone?
I'm Adrien Barthel, Barthel on LinkedIn.
Thank you very much for joining this show. I hope you appreciate it.